Mr. Baloyi? Do you have a message from...
As a court, please, we received a message from Mr. Mgomezulu that he's unwell.
That what?
That he's unwell. That he had a health episode last night, and that Advocate Munisi, he has requested Advocate Munisi to stand in for him.
Is that so, sir?
Yes, that is the position. He called me early in the morning in form of some not being well.
Some?
He indicated that he's not well to attend court today and requested me to stand in for him. I've also communicated this to Mr. Sibia.
So at least we can make progress.
Yes, my lord.
Did you read so yesterday? Somebody phoned me, it's a judge. He phoned me about the report in the Sowetan, where the editorial, they say it's a mockery of justice, the way we are going on. You didn't read that? Anybody who read that?
I read that.
You read that?
In fact, I've just discussed that with colleagues from the media.
Am I correct when I say they say it's a mockery of justice?
Yes, this
Actually, they want to say it's a travesty of justice, if you know English.
Yes.
Because they say stop and start and what have you and what have you.
Yes.
And we don't know what we are doing. That's what they say.
Yes.
Scary but do knows. Yeah. Okay.
But they did acknowledge that progress has been made in the matter.
No, you know why I'm laughing? There are cases in South Africa, 20 years. This is one today. It's been on the roll for 20 years. It's in Pietermaritzburg, we all know.
Yes.
I've been here for a year.
Yes.
And they say I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, fine.
I can also attest, my lord, that the Buremark trial went on for 11 years.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
I was still here.
Yes.
But I didn't understand that the editorial to mean that we don't know what we're doing. I think they acknowledge that it is not an ordinary case and that sometimes the delays depend on the complexity of the case.
No, fine, it's okay. Every person is entitled to his or her opinion, but at least it must be, the opinion must be factually based.
Yes. I think they were more concerned about systematic, delays, like the change in presiding officers, and
Okay.
miscommunication between us and the defense and so on.
Okay, fine. You're still under oath. Are we proceeding with the cross-examination? Where's Mr. Ramsepi?
I'm here, my lord.
Yeah, you can go on, sir.
As the court pleases, my lord, I'm indebted.
Yeah.
Now, Colonel, last afternoon when we adjourned, I asked you a question and we went on some explanation, but I think the answer was lost in translation. I asked you whether in your office have you given your findings to, or your examination and comparison to a peer reviewer who differed with your opinion? Has that happened?
Uthathile yini imiphumela oyitholile wanika lo mbiko kwabanga ubhekisisa abawuhlolisise kuthiwa phecelezi peer reviewer?
My lord, as I've answered yesterday, I said I gave it to 4 of my colleagues and all of them agreed to my findings.
Njengoba sengishilo-ke ngithe nginike umbiko wami kwengisebenza nabo abane ukuthi bonke bayavumelana nombiko wami.
Yeah, Colonel, but what I'm asking you, I'm not speaking specifically about this case. I'm saying in your experience, the 29 years or so as a ballistic expert, that now as a senior specialist in that office, have you given your work in another case, not this case in particular, where you, for example, your finding was one of inclusion, that is a match, and then you gave to somebody who peer reviewed and said it's an elimination or it's inconclusive. Has that happened?
Angibuzeli ke leli cala phela ngibuza nje ukuthi njengoba uwuchwepheshe uneminyaka eyamashumi amabili nesishiyagalolunye wakwanika yini imiphumela yakho oyitholile abanye ukuthi bayihlolisise.
My Lord, as I can recall, there's no case that I did where we differed. Where in some instances where there's differences, where maybe I made it positive and somebody said, but I'll make it inconclusive. But not where I made it positive and somebody made it negative. It has never happened with me.
Mthaya kaze kwenzeka ukuthi kube nomphumela enala engifike ngithi khona umphumela lona awuvumelani nalokubuziwe ebese ke omunye mhlawumbe omunye athi cha uyafika awuvumelani nokubuziwe bese mina ngithi cha impendulo ayicaci kahle kodwa kaze kube nongila engizothi khona ukuthi uma ngithi na umphumela awuvumelani bese bese ethi komunye uyavumelana.
And in simple terms, as we established yesterday, inconclusive means doubtful. Either it is or it is not. So you cannot positively say it is the firearm that fired this bullet, or you cannot positively say it's the firearm that did not fire this bullet. Is that correct?
Manje kuza ukuthi ke umuthi ke acaci kusho ukuthi kunokungabaza lapho. Ngoba ukuthi angeke ukwazi ukusho ngesiqiniseko ukuthi yebo isona lesi sibhamu ukuthi yebo akusona lesi sibhamu lesi esijubilile.
My Lord, in the sense that when you say inconclusive, it might be that you are saying all the class characteristics are there, but
Yes.
I cannot see the individual, or I cannot see sufficient individuals. Unlike when you say it's inconclusive and I don't see any, where you say I don't see any, meaning it can be negative.
No, I'm not speaking about in that terms. You remember I went with you through two examples yesterday where I say, let's say for example, in our expert's conclusion, he says this, he sees discernible matching class characteristics. He doesn't say he doesn't see any. And he says further, I also see individual characteristics, but they are not of the threshold that is required for me to conclude that there is sufficient agreement. Therefore, I'm going to come to a conclusion that is inconclusive.
As long as you say, my Lord, there is sufficient, there is agreement.
Yes.
When you say there is agreement,
Yes.
you can see the similarities.
Yes.
If they are not sufficient for you, they are not sufficient for you.
Yes.
But now, where for me, if I'm saying I see this, the individual characteristics, which indicates to me that this is positive, I'll make it positive.
Hayi lo chwepheshe wethu ushilo ukuthi yena khona kubonayo ukubonayo sengathi kuyacacisa kahle futhi uyakwazi ukuthatha isinqumo esibonakalayo nesiphendulayo ukuthi yebo kunjalo kodwa ke mina ke engikubonayo ukuthi kunginika izimpawu engibona sengathi zilingene ukuthi zingangitshela ukuthi yebo lokho kubekiwe lana nanoma kubonakala kodwa ke akucaci kuvele kahle.
Hence, I said, when you were talking about your training, your experience, and your background, I made this proviso or the rider that determination of a conclusion, whether an inclusion, elimination, inconclusive, or insufficient for determination, it's made based on your training, experience, and background. But further, the important rider is that test, that determination is subjective. So it's subjective to you that this is positive, it's got 6, now you've added 1, it's got 7 matching striae. He says it's inconclusive because I see the class characteristics that match to the T, but the striae do not match for me enough to make a determination that is a match. So the test is subjective. That's the basis of my question.
Mfuthu umbuzo wami unana uthi ke lana kusho ukuthi ama-test la asetshenziswayo wenza ngale ndlela le oqeqeshwe ngayo kodwa ke egcineni i-test eyenziwayo igcina kuwukuthi-ke incike kakhulu ekutheni umuntu ubona kanjani ngoba kusho ukuthi omunye angabona ngenye indlela kodwa ke incike ekutheni umuntu ubona kanjani.
Sorry.
Yes.
You say that the test is subjective,
Yes.
meaning even the result is subjective.
The results are subjective as well.
You know, if you look at my eyes,
Yes.
I was reading 5 books
Yes,
on ballistics.
yes,
I can just tell you,
yeah.
they say the test is scientific.
My lord,
No, fine, we don't argue. I'm just saying the books on which I was piercing on, they say it is scientific. But if you say it's subjective and then you exclude scientific, fine. But I'm just saying that's what they say.
my lord, they said the test is based on 2 labs. One is the scientific part,
But
but
see, at least you are including
yes,
scientific now.
scientific and also
Okay.
subjective.
Yeah,
and
fine.
I refer the court to
No, fine, we are agreed. If you say
yes,
it's scientific and subjective,
Yes, yes.
I don't have a problem.
Okay, thank you,
But
my
you
lord.
said subjective.
Okay, all
Meaning
right.
this plot, Mokhotleng.
Okay,
If he says it's right, it is right.
okay,
Okay.
yes. Now, let me go back to the test and the comparison and the findings of Captain Sireo that you said. He worked on TB4 and TB8, and therefore he looked at the striations there, and then he confirmed that there was also a match, thereby verifying your conclusions, your findings, correct?
That's correct, my lord.
Sekunjalo ukuthi ukwetshenziswa uthe kukhona lokho okusetshenziswayo TB4 no TB8. Lokho kuveza ke izimpawu ezithize ezikwenza ukuthi afikele esinqumeni afika kusona.
Now I want to find out, Colonel, from the 8 tests that you conducted, you marked them TB3 to TB10, correct?
That's correct, my lord.
Athi ke ama-test lawo enzelayo 8 wamake ukuthi TB3 kuya ku-TB10 wathi yebo kunjalo.
Now, of those 8 tests, which ones were marked? Which ones were FMJ bullets? Was it 3? Was it 4? Was it 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Which ones were FMJs?
Ama-test lawo enzile maphi-ke la ahambelana no-FMJ awuhlobo le-FMJ.
My lord, I can't recall which ones I've marked them TV3 to TV10, unless if I have to check them first.
Angikwazi ukuthi ngisho nje ngingazange ngihlole ukuthi ma angikhumbuli nje ngekhaya.
It's imperative for us that you check because I want to verify some aspect with you on that. So it's important that we know which ones were FMJs in those tests that you conducted.
Balulekile ukuthi uhlole ngoba ufuna ukwazi ukuthi maphi awu-FMJ.
Understood, Jen.
No, my lord, it will be very quick. My lord, TB7 and TB8 are the FMJs.
U-TB7 no-TB8 ibona kawo-FMJ.
Thank you, Colonel. You know the reason why I'm asking you which ones were FMJ? You stated that Warrant Officer Rulofsen has fired TB1, TB2, which are FMJs, correct?
That's correct.
This is actually you said TB1
TB1 and TB2.
or TB1 or TB2.
And then you also fired FMJs from PNP, if I understood very well. And then you sent that, or you determined that the FMJs do not impart sufficient marks where you can make a comparison because they are a harder compound bullet. Is that correct?
That's correct.
FMJ our she's powers bonagala ngoba nje ngathi aqinile kunalo this is inhla but yekunjalo.
Now here we see there's a combination of 7 and 8, the combination which is FMJ, and yet Serrero made a combination tests which are 4, we know that it's a CMJ, and 8 now, we know that it's an FMJ. You understand where I'm going to? Because the FMJ, you said number 8, TB8, doesn't impart sufficient marks to make a conclusion that you can make an identification, whether a match, elimination, or whatever, because it's a harder compound. Yet Serrero goes to the harder compound and says, I have found also matches on that bullet.
Number 4, ACMJ, ngoba I found another number 7 or 8 which are in ayinazo izimpawu ezifana nalezi FMJ kodwa uqeqeshelwe ukuthi uzitholile izimpawu yena kuyena lo 7 no 8.
My lord, it does not mean if it's FMJ, it won't produce any marks. It will produce some of the marks.
Yes.
But the marks on, even if you can shoot 2 FMJs,
Yes.
one after the other, their marks will not be exactly. Some of it you'll see that, you can see that, but they are fainting somewhere. So it depends on how the marks were transferred to that bullet. You can get the same type of bullet shot in the same firearm. One has more clear marks, but the other one does not have more clear marks.
Akukho la okungabikhona nezimpawu nanoma ukuthi ukama FMJ amabili yebo angeke kube afane encimishini kodwa kukhona la okuzosalela ukubonakalayo ukwazi ukuthi ufunde lokho nje kunike ukutheni uthi hayi kudependa nje ukuthi ukusetshenziswa kohlobo lenjani lesibhamu.
Now, if I understand your explanation now, all that you are saying is that marks are not consistently transferred or imparted to the bullet. Is that my understanding of your answer?
Futhi wena uthike manje ukuthi impawu lezi njalo zihlale zidluliselwa enhlamvini kunjalo.
That's correct, Malo. That's why we don't shoot one test. You shoot 2 or more tests if you're doing a comparison. So that the other bullet, if it doesn't have the clearer marks, you can use the next one to do that. In this instance, that's why I used a number of them, so that I can do a lot of comparison on those other bullets.
Sorry, how many did you shoot?
I shot 8.
8.
That's correct, Malo.
Okay.
Yebo kunjalo. Yikho nje sithi uma sesifuna ukuthi sizame ukuthi siqhathanise noma nje sihlolele ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi siqhathanise. Asidubuli kanye kodwa sidubula kaningi. Athi ke egcineni udubuleke ehlandla ezingabe zisishagalombili ukuze ukwazi ukuthola umphumela obonakalayo.
And on that score, is that an industry standard that says how many, a minimum of tests that you must fire to make an examination and comparison and a maximum, or are you allowed to shoot until the zenith you find a mark that you are looking for?
Athi-ke hayi kukhona yini into esetshenziswayo wonke ukuthi-ke kuhlolwe ukuthi uma ufuna ukuhlola udubula mhlambe kukhona isibalo elibekelwe sona ukuthi udubule kangaka noma udubula nje wena kaninginingi uze ufike la wena onenelisekayo ukuthi ya cha lezi mpawu ufuna uzibona uzibonile.
My Lord, the minimum that we shoot is 2 in the firearm, but the maximum, we don't have a maximum that you can shoot only up to this. It will depend on you if you are satisfied with the mark that you found in your test.
Athi hayi kusho ukuthi-ke siqala la ekutheni sidubule kabili kodwa kukho-ke la kuthiwa-ke khona usudubule kaningi kakhulu. Kusho ukuthi-ke sidubula size sinelise ukuthi cha lemiphumela ebesifuna ukuyibona iyabonakala.
Now, coming to this test of Sereo and pertaining especially to TB8, hence I said yesterday, and I accept your explanation to say the main case is yours. You are the one that is making the examination, the comparison, and the finding. Sereo only reviews your work and he comes to his own findings. But now my issue is this. If you did not find sufficient marks on 8, it goes back to my question of yesterday to say, whilst I understand that the reviewer does not make charts like you have made charts for the court here, is it acceptable for us to go and ask Sereo to make charts for us so that we can see the marks that he said he saw on 8, so that our expert also can go and verify the same number 8 again and see if he can find marks that are consistent and that are meet the threshold of a match?
Asiqale ukuthi kusho ukuthi-ke wena njengoba-ke uhlolile-ke wena uthe wena akukho iy'mpawu ezibonakalayo ezilingene kunumber 8. Singambuza njengoba wena uze wazosibonisa-ke ama-chart nawo singamcela yini ukuthi silona asenzele kanjalo azosibonisa lona chart.
My Lord, it's not that I failed to make a positive ID on the test with 8 or in 4.
Yes.
I chose 5 and 9
Yes.
when I did that because I saw better marks on 5 and 9. And if Sereo was doing the same test, he saw better marks on 4 and 8. So I cannot say, because Sereo, I used 5 and 8, I must give him strictly 5 and 8 to compare it.
Angizange ngihluleke ukuthi ngikwenze kahle umsebenzi wami. Mina ngikhethe nje ukuthi ngibheke kunumber 5 number 9 ngoba lapho ngibone iy'mpawu engibone manje ngibheka ngabona sengathi zibonakala kayo. USereo wena usebenzisa u4 number 8 ngoba yena naye ubone ukuthi iy'mpawu zibonakala kahle lapha ku4 8, kodwa uma ngasebenzisa lezi engiyisebenzisile nami kuzobonakala into efanayo.
Hence my point when I asked the question about subjectivity, that although scientific, the second level is subjectivity. On the subjective level, on number 8, you didn't see sufficient marks. Sereo sees sufficient marks on 8. Hence, I alluded to the test of subjectivity as well, the criteria of subjectivity when you're doing the comparison.
Yiko ngiphalile mina athi kusho ukuthi kukhona-ke ukuthi umbiko uncike ekutheni umuntu ubona kanjani ngoba wena kunumber 8 awuzange ubone kuney'mpawu ezilingene. USereo ukuthi uma ebheke kunumber 8 wabona-ke kunezimpawu ezilingene ukuthi zinganika umphumela obonakalayo. Yikho-ke nje ngithe mina angibuze ukuthi lokhu kuncike ekutheni umuntu ubona kanjani yini noma.
As a good policeman, I don't think that's what the witness said.
Yeah,
The proposition is put that he didn't see sufficient marks, but the witness says he saw better marks. The two concepts are not the same.
But no, the one, Mr. Ramsipiri,
Yes, sir.
just be clear.
Yes.
Are you imputing to the witness that he directed Serero or Sefularo
Yes.
to 4 and 8?
No. The witness said yesterday, my lord, already.
No, I'm talking about
Okay.
now.
Okay.
That's how you pose the question. As opposed to Serero himself choosing out of his own free will 4 and 8. What is your real question?
My Lord, I stick by the answer that he gave yesterday. I gave
But I'm
Cyril
asking the
3 and
question, sir.
8 yesterday. Cyril,
No, forget about yesterday.
Yes.
I'm asking you now.
now it's still the same.
What
Cyril had 8 bullets. He selected for 8
Who's that?
himself. He selected himself, Cyril,
Cyril.
not the colonel directing Cyril to 4 and
Yeah,
8.
so he didn't direct.
Yes.
That's it, fine.
Yes.
That's clear now.
My Lord, as I said, I fired 8 tests. I compared them. I chose 5 and 9 to make an ID on it,
Yes.
and took all the 8 of them, gave it to Lieutenant Colonel
Yes.
Serrell to do his comparison. With all those 8,
Yes.
he chose 4 and 8. So I cannot say for him, you must choose 5 and 9, because I used 5 and 9.
Yeah.
I gave him all of them. So it's his choice whether he chose 5 and 8, or he could have chose any other. He chose 5 and 8, and he used them for comparison.
4 and 8,
and he
not
came to
5
the
and
same conclusions.
Okay.
Njengoba ngisho mina ngidlule Davezo 8 and then ngathi uma sengithathile lezi zinto mina ngikhethe unumber 8 and 9 ngoba ngibona sengathi impawu ziyabonakala ngase ngimnika ke zonke lezi zinhlamvu uCaptain Silo naye wathi mesethathile yena wasekhetha unumber 4 and 8 ngizange ngimtshela ukuthi akakhethi iziphi na.
And when you gave him the 3 to 10, TB1, I mean TB3 to 10, did you tell him that you have an inclusion, a match, not on a specific 5 to 9, but did you tell him I've got a match amongst these 3 to 8?
Manje ngimtshelile yini kulezi ndaba umnikeza ukuthi kukhona la engibona khona ukuthi khona izimpawu ezithima siqhathaniswa zibe nokufana.
My Lord, I did my comparison. After doing my comparison, after I came to the conclusion that this bullet is positive to this. I just gave him the test and the bullet to him, said, can you confirm this microscope for me? And I left him alone. So he did all the testing alone. And after he came to the conclusion, he came to me and said, no, this bullet is positive with the tests.
Okay.
Njengoba masengigcina-ke ngitholile ukuthi kukhona-ke lezi ndaba lezi ngibona sengathi zinazo izimpawu ngase ngivele ngase ngimnika-ke yena ukuthi akazihlolele kodwa-ke angizange ngibe sengimtshela ukuthi no ngifuna ukuthi enze kanjeni ngishiye eyedwa ukuthi yena kube uyena ozibonelayo naye kwasebona ukuthi no kulazi lezi ayikhetile zikhona iy'mpawu lezi nami engizibone kulezi ezinye izithuthile.
Okay. Let us move on, Colonel. Yesterday you testified, or the day before, you testified that you tested other firearms besides the Beretta that was found to be eliminated, and then you tested the exhibit firearm in this case. How many other firearms did you test for this case, 63610 of 2014?
Manje hlole iy'bhame ey'ngaki usizohlola kule test ngoba ushilo ukuthi utheste ezinye iy'bhamu naleyo Beretta le ehloliwe kwathiwa iyakhishwa yona. Abafuna ukwazi ukuthi zingaki osebenzisile iy'bhamu ukusihlola la kule test.
My Lord, I tested the Beretta 92 FS Compact, the same one that we were talking about. The second firearm that I tested was the 9mm Parabellum 6 Sauer with serial number uniform 385931.
You said the Beretta 92 ngasebenzisa futhi ne-9mm Parabellum eneserial number U385934.
Is that all?
No, my Lord. I've also received the 9mm shot CZ83, of which is negative also.
Ngithole ne-CZ83 nayo-ke ayikhombisa izimpawu.
And what are the lab numbers for the 6 hour 9mm Parabellum and the 9mm CZ83 that you eliminated?
Iziphi-ke iy'namba zalezi bhamu i-9mm nale CZ83?
My Lord, it's the same lab number, it's the same case number. They came under the same case number.
Athi singene ngayo le case efanayo senzisa i-case yona le eyodwa.
And what were the source of origin of these two firearms? Where do they come from?
Can you rephrase the question?
Where did they come from? From whom did they come? Were you told?
I don't know, my lord, from who were they, because I only received them because they had the same case number. They were sent to me to be compared with it.
All right.
Angazi ukuthi sivelaphi mina nje ngizinikiwe sihambelana necase eyodwa. Angazi ukuthi sivelaphi.
And in addition to that, my lord, there was a list of There was a list of 16 cases where they were requested to compare this bullet with those other exhibits from the other 16 cases. And that was done by somebody else, and all of them were negative to the bullet.
To the bullet.
Athi khona kamanye amacala ishumi nesithupha la ake kuthiwe ke akuhlole lezi bhamu kodwa ke impumela ke iyabonakala ukuthi cha ayivumelani.
And do you know which cases are there? Are the case numbers mentioned there in police stations? All 16 comparisons.
It was the Sasolburg case 61 of 7, 2015, Everton Sasolburg case 61 of 7, 2015,
Case yokuqala yaseSasolburg 6107 2015.
Everton case 373 of 7, 2015,
373.
of 7, 2015, Everton, yeah.
Kwaba necala elinye lase-Everton.
Sorry, my lord, may I approach accused number 2 in the meeting?
fine.
The Johannesburg Central case
Thank you, my lord. I'm indebted to the court.
Yes.
The Johannesburg case number 1254 of 7, 2015.
Also transfer 1254 of 7 of 2015.
Sebokeng case 316 of 6, 2015.
316 of 6.
2015.
ASS Mugen 316 of 6 2015.
Orlando case 93 of 8, 2014.
ASS Orlando 93 of 8 2014.
GP case 843 of 3, 2015.
The number of cases,
843
yeah.
of 3, 2015.
Kukhona ke neyase GP 843 of 3 of 2015.
Jabulani case 49 of 8, 2015.
Kukhona ke neyase Jabulani 49 of 8 2015.
Vereeniging case 25 of 10, 2015.
Yes, 25 of 12 2015.
Kwamhlanga case 83 of 3, 2015.
It's number 18.
Kwamhlanga case 83 of 3, 2015.
Yes, so Komhlanga case number 83 of 3 of 2015.
Bramley case 70 of 6, 2015.
Yes, Premly 70 of 6 of 2015.
Jamestown case 85 of 12, 2014.
Yes, Jamestown 85
Of
of
12.
12 2014.
And Alexandra case 277 of 1, 2015.
Yes, Alexander 277 of 1 2015.
Johannesburg Central 338 of 10, 2015.
Number 14.
338 of 10, 2015.
Yes, Johannesburg Central 338 of 10 2015.
Linden case 227 of 6, 2015.
Yes, Linden 227 of 6 2015.
Johannesburg Central case 337 of 10, 2015.
ASA Johannesburg Central 327 of 10, 2015.
And Kwaggafontein, 48 of 7, 2015.
ASA Kwaggafontein 48 of 7, 2015.
Sorry, my lord, if I may take it.
So all in all, there are how many?
There are 16.
16.
16, my lord.
16 plus 4 now. The Beretta which you discarded.
That's correct, yes.
And tell me something, Colonel. I'm not sure whether my question will make sense to you. Those eliminations, were they done in the lab or was it via IBIS? Can IBIS eliminate a bullet or only deals with cartridge cases? And also, before you answer, explain, just clarify to us and the court, what is IBIS and how does it work?
Well, you must clarify to the others. Me and you were here when Lupsha told us about the database called IBIS and how it works.
Yeah.
Is that not so, sir?
Yes, we were here.
Right, fine.
My lord, with the IBIS system is the Integrated Ballistics Identification System. That system, what we do is, how we use it is, we created a database on that system where you capture the images or you acquire the images of all the cartridge cases that we have at the lab or all the firearms that we receive. Each and every firearm that we receive, we'll shoot the test, we'll take one test, acquire it on the IBIS system for further comparison.
So again, IBIS is an integrated ballistic identification system. We should lapho besigcina imfanekiso yonke yazo zonke ibhamu esazithola saphinde sazihlola.
Right. In acquiring one cartridge case on the system, it can take about 10 minutes, it depends on the system. If the system is slow, it will take 10 to 15 minutes to acquire one cartridge case. And if it's fast, it will take about 5 to 6 minutes to acquire one cartridge.
We should take a cartridge because just told it then which is slow system, which we have a tatango, tata slow, which we take. 10 to 15 minutes kodwa uma ukuthi senza kahle iyasheshisa ingathatha 5 to 6 minutes.
Right, acquiring a cartridge case on a system a lot, meaning you acquire the whole breech face of your cartridge case. If there's a firing pin mark here, you acquire the firing pin, the ejector mark here, you acquire the ejector mark. Your firing pin, you acquire the firing pin, and then you acquire the whole breech face.
Ukuthi lapho ke uma ukuthi khona la kushaya khona iphini yesibhamu uthatha khona la kushaya khona iphini yesibhamu manje uma ukuthi khona la ekushesele impawu zaloko ukukhipha i-cartridge esibhamini nako uthatha khona ke and then uyakwazi futhi uthatha sonke isithombe sayo yonke ke lephathe ngemumva kwe-cartridge.
The system will capture the image and it will compare it on a daily basis with other cases. The more cases you load, it keeps on comparing with the comparison is done mostly after hours.
Ushuthi kumshini ke wona kuthatha zonke lezi ithombe lezi sigcine khona la ngaphandle. Ushuthi ngaso sonke isikhathi uma ukuthi ke kukhona okungenayo emshinini uhlale ihlola ukuthi ayikho yini isithombe mhlambe esifana naloko sekufakiwe lapha emshinini. Ushuthi ke lo mshini lona uma sekushayisiwe uwenza ke lo msebenzi ukuthi uhlole ukuthi azikho yini izithombe ezifananayo.
Right. When it comes to bullet, my lord, you do the same thing with the bullet, but on the bullet, it requires the whole circumference of your bullet. Your bullet is still.
Iyahlola nazo inhlamvu kodwa ke lana ke sithola umfanekiso we-circumference kusho ukuthi ke indingilizi yenhlamvu.
So what we'll do is, if it starts here, it will acquire this whole groove, and it acquires the length. It comes to the next groove, acquires the groove, comes to Leland until it finishes the whole bullet. So acquiring one bullet on the system, if it's slow, it will take about 30 to 40 minutes to acquire one bullet.
ngoba ke ithatha ke ihlole zonke la kubheke khona ibullet kusho ukuthi ke ihlola nje zonke lezi ndawo la edwebeke khona ibullet kusho ukuthi isithatha isikhathi eside ngathatha ke isikhathi siyofikela 13 ama-minute ngenhlamvu eyodwa.
Right. If the system is working properly, it will take about 20 minutes to acquire the whole bullet.
Kusho ukuthi ukuthi ifunde yonke ibullet isystem uma isebenza kahle ngathatha ke imizuzu amashumi amabili.
Now, because of the time that it takes to acquire the cartridge cases and the bullet, what we did at the lab, or what the management of the lab did is, with all the assault rifles and the pistols, we acquire only the cartridge cases.
Manje ke into esesizame ukuyilungisa lapha ukuthi ke makhulunywa ngale zebhamu enkulu sesivele ukuthi kusebenzeka kanzonyana umshini lo uvele uthathe ke ama-cartridge cases.
Because the reason why we acquire only cartridge cases on pistols and assault rifles is every shot fired at the crime scene, the firearm will eject the cartridge case. It's most likely, in most of the cartridge cases, of the crime scenes, we will pick up cartridge cases so that we can send for acquisition.
But in isizathu ke sokuthi si-electeni sizobheka ama-cartridge kuphela ukuthi uma isibhamu sidubula siyayihlanza i-cartridge and then futhi ke le cartridge lena iyakwazi ukuthi itholakale esikhathini esiningi la kwenzeke khona endaweni yesigameko yikho-ke sisi-electeni asibheke ama-cartridge kakhulu.
Right. In instances where a revolver is there and like bolt actions, we acquire the bullets that comes from, or the bullet tests of the revolvers and the bolt action rifles. Like the 357 that are used for rhino poachings, we acquire those bullets on the systems.
Manje uma ukuthi kusetshenziswa ivolovolo ngoba ivolovolo alihlanzi i-cartridge emva kwalokho ukuthi sithatha ke inhlamvu kube yona inhlamvu siyoyihlola ngoba i-cartridge yona isala lapha esibhamini and futhi ke uma kufana nje mhlawumbe ney'bhamu ezinjengalezi ezisetshenziswa uma kuyozingelwa obhejane zizibhamu zohlobo lo-387 nakhona-ke hhayi sithatha iy'nhlamvu.
Right. In this case, Malot, we have only a bullet. We don't have a cartridge case. So to compare the bullet with other cases on the IB system, it's not going to be possible because the bullets of the 9mm pistols are not acquired on the system.
Manje-ke uma ukuthi-ke siyabheka njengoba sibheka la ngoba sibheke iy'nhlamvu ngoba kuwukuthi kusetshenziswe lolu hlobo lwesibhamu lolu oluhlanzayo kusho ukuthi-ke lana esikwenzayo ukuthi nanoma sihlola iy'nhlamvu lezi umshini awukwazi ukuhlola ngaphakathi ngoba asinazo iy'thombe zenhlamvu zesibhamu ezijulile.
Okay, thank you, Colonel. And those tests were conducted by this lady, Yashni Belinda Paul, according to what you've just read now.
That's correct, Malot.
Okay.
Can I get the question again?
The tests that all the cases that he referred to, the Colonel referred to, the tests were conducted by a lady, Yashni Belinda Paul.
So, Belinda Paul at
Now, Colonel, on my last question, you testified that on the 17th of June 2020, you attended upon Pretoria North Police Station to take measurements from accused number 2. Is that correct?
That's correct, Malot.
June 2020, we have Pretoria North
And initially, when Mr. Mgomezulu examined you, you said on that morning you had met Colonel Gininda at the Pretoria North Police Station, but later in the afternoon you said you now do not remember or recall whether Colonel Gininda was there. You remember that evidence?
As a court, please, my lord, the witness has always been clear from the beginning that he did receive a call from Brigadier Gininda on the 17th of June 2020, but he never said that he met him at Pretoria North Police Station.
My lord, I listened to the evidence when Mr. Mgomozulu was leading this witness. I'm not thumbsucking what I'm telling, the proposition that I'm putting to the court. He said in the afternoon, he said, I received a call from Colonel Gininda. First, it was Valeria in respect of accused number 1 on a different date. And then secondly, it was on the 17th of June 2020. I received a call from Colonel Gininda to go and do the same exercise. And on that morning, I met Colonel Gininda. That's what Mr. Mgomezulu took him through.
No, fine.
Then after lunch, he
proceed.
came, yes. Now, yes.
Tell me, what is the relevance of this?
The relevance of
because this witness
Yes.
tells you that he's not certain.
Yes.
Is that not your qualification? I can't remember.
That's correct, Master. I said,
Yeah, but the relevance thereof, my lord, will remember from the witnesses that were present when accused number 2 was interrogated in the boardroom on the 17th.
Yeah, so?
Accused number 2 says Gininda was there. The witnesses said not. So it's important in respect to that aspect, my lord.
Fine, that's why I'm saying this witness says he can't remember.
Yeah.
So I can't place credence on his evidence. I can't remember.
All right, it's fine, my lord. Then I'll leave it at that. Those are my questions for the witness, my lord, as
Okay.
the court places.
What's your time, sir?
It's 10 past, my lord, 11.
Can you come back at 1:30?